And your advertising slogan, I think, was all about this, about the 100% pure New Zealand, the idea that you're a greener nation than any other in the developed world. That already isn't true as your population does slowly rise, and it's going to get worse. Dr. Mike Joy of Massey University, a leading environmental scientist in your country, he said just the other day, he said, we are delusional about how clean and green we are.
Well, that might be Mike Joy's view, but I don't share that view.
But he is very well qualified, isn't he? And he's looked, for example, at the number of species threatened with extinction in New Zealand. He's looked at the fact that half your lakes, 90% of your lowland rivers are now classed as polluted.
Well, look, I'd hate to get into a flaming row with one of our academics, but he's offering his view. I think any person that goes down to New Zealand...
He's a scientist, it's based on research. It's not just an opinion.
He's one academic, and like lawyers, I could provide you another one that will give you a counter view. If anybody goes down to New Zealand and looks at our environmental credentials and looks at New Zealand, then for the most part, I think, in comparison with the rest of the world, we are 100% pure. In other words, our air quality is very high.
100%. 100% is 100%, and clearly you're not 100%. Well, I mean, you know, look, whether you agree with Mike Joy's figures or not, you've clearly got problems of river pollution. You've clearly got problems with species which are declining, threatened with extinction. And he says the problem is that central government, he's not just blaming you, but over decades, central government in New Zealand has been complacent about this. So what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, so I don't actually totally agree with that proposition. I mean, for a start off, yes, of course the population's getting larger, and that creates some form of pollution. And yes, we have a large agricultural base, and so as we've become intensifying our dairying operations, that's had some impact on our river quality. Now, what the government has been doing is demanding much higher environmental standards. So actually, for the most part, you jump in any New Zealand river or stream, you go and breathe the air, and you walk up a mountain. I'd argue with you that if you don't believe it's clean and green, then you need to show me a country that's cleaner and greener.
Well, I hope someday I can have the opportunity to do at least some of that. It sounds attractive, but let's actually, you talked about farming. Let's get deeper into this farming issue. You talked about Australia and the fact that it's outstripped you in growth terms year upon year recently because it commands vast commodities and minerals wealth, and it's tying itself very closely, frankly, to the Chinese and emerging Asian economies to make very big profits. New Zealand doesn't have the minerals, but it does, and you've talked about it, have a very significant agricultural sector. Are you happy to see China buying into New Zealand's agriculture?
Well, we're happy to have China as a big market, and I think we would define
that's not what I asked you.
No, but I mean, I think it's interesting to have a look at what our options are, because we're masters of our own destiny. So if you look at China, it's now our second largest market. Two-way trade's on its way to, you know, it's 12 billion on its way to 20 billion. So there has been investment from China, and in certain instances, we've welcomed that.